If you're over 60, you've likely felt your body changing. A little more stiffness in the morning, a dip in energy by the afternoon, or maybe even forgetting a name or a word you used to recall instantly. Many of us chalk these things up to just getting older. But what if they were signs of something deeper, something preventable? Today, we're talking about one of the most misunderstood and underdiagnosed conditions in senior health: chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is like a low, smoldering fire inside your body. You don't feel it like a fever or a sore throat, but over time, it quietly damages your tissues, organs, and immune system. It's been linked to nearly every major disease of aging, including arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. But here's what most people don't realize: it doesn't begin suddenly. Chronic inflammation often starts years before a diagnosis, with small signs that are easy to ignore. That's what this video is all about. We'll walk through 7 early signs of chronic inflammation that most seniors miss. Not because they're not paying attention, but because these symptoms seem ordinary or even expected as we age. But they're not just aging. They're red flags, your body's way of asking for help. We'll also talk about what to do if you recognize these signs, and how simple lifestyle changes can put out that fire before it leads to something more serious. Whether you're already managing a chronic condition or just want to stay ahead of the game, this video will give you the tools to better understand your body and stay vibrant and independent for as long as possible. Ready to dive in? Before we dive into the first sign, I want to ask you for a small favor that makes a big difference. If you're enjoying this video so far and want to keep your health strong, your mind clear, and your independence intact, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us reach more seniors who need this information, and it ensures you don't miss out on any of our future videos about staying healthy, naturally, after 60. Now, let's look at the first overlooked warning sign of chronic inflammation: fatigue that just doesn't seem to go away. Let's begin with one of the most common and most overlooked signs of chronic inflammation: persistent fatigue. We all feel tired from time to time, maybe after a poor night's sleep, a busy day, or a big meal. But the kind of fatigue linked to chronic inflammation is different. This is the kind of tiredness that lingers, no matter how much rest you get. You might wake up already feeling drained, or you might notice your energy crashing by mid-morning, even if your day hasn't really started yet. It's not laziness, it's not age, and it's not just in your head. Here's what's happening under the surface. When your body is in a state of chronic inflammation, your immune system is constantly active, using up energy, resources, and nutrients to fight a threat that may not even be there. This ongoing immune activity leads to cellular stress. Your mitochondria, the tiny energy factories in your cells, become less efficient. They produce less energy, and your body starts to feel like it's running on empty. And because the fatigue comes from the inside, naps, caffeine, or even extra sleep at night often don't help. You may also notice brain fog along with the tiredness, heavy limbs or sore muscles, trouble getting motivated or staying focused. Many seniors think this is just part of getting older, but it doesn't have to be. If your body is constantly on alert, it's using energy in all the wrong places. And over time, that can wear down your heart, your hormones, and your brain. The good news is that once inflammation is identified and addressed through food, stress management, movement, and sleep, energy often returns. So if you've been feeling worn out for weeks or months and nothing seems to help, don't ignore it. Your body might be telling you something important. Up next, we'll talk about another subtle but serious signal: brain fog and forgetfulness. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you went there? Or struggled to find a word that used to come easily? While occasional forgetfulness is normal, persistent brain fog is not something you should ignore, especially if it's happening more frequently or starting to affect your daily life. Brain fog is a term we use to describe mental fatigue, difficulty focusing, slower thinking, trouble with short-term memory, and one of the major, but often unrecognized, causes of brain fog is neuroinflammation. Yes, inflammation doesn't just affect your joints or your gut, it can affect your brain too. When your brain is inflamed, communication between neurons slows down. Your brain literally becomes foggy. And unlike physical inflammation, this isn't something you can see or feel, but you can absolutely experience it. Here are some signs of inflammation-driven brain fog in seniors. You forget names or appointments more often. You feel mentally slower, like your thoughts are stuck in molasses. It's harder to focus on tasks or follow conversations. Reading or learning new things feels more tiring. Many seniors fear that this is the start of dementia, but often it's not. It's inflammation, and it's reversible. Scientific research shows that chronic inflammation is a major contributor to cognitive decline, and it can start years before more serious symptoms appear. The good news? When you reduce inflammation through better nutrition, movement, and sleep, your brain can bounce back. You may find yourself thinking more clearly, recalling names with ease, and feeling mentally sharper than you have in years. So the next time you brush off that foggy feeling as senior moments, remember, it might be your brain asking for help. Up next, we'll move from the brain to the body and talk about how inflammation shows up in your joints, even before arthritis is diagnosed. It's one of the most common complaints among older adults. I feel stiff when I get out of bed. Or, my knees ache when the weather changes. We tend to accept joint pain and stiffness as a normal part of aging. But the truth is, it's often a sign of chronic inflammation. Inflammation is your body's natural response to injury or infection. But when it becomes chronic, it can begin attacking your own healthy tissues, including the cartilage that cushions your joints. This can lead to morning stiffness, achy knees, hips, or shoulders, mild swelling around joints, decreased flexibility or range of motion. These symptoms may be subtle at first. Maybe it takes longer to get moving in the morning. Maybe you avoid stairs because your knees feel tight, or you start skipping walks because your hips are sore by the end of the day. These are the quiet whispers of inflammation, before it turns into full-blown arthritis. And here's the good news. This is the stage when you can do the most to reverse it. By adjusting your diet, cutting out inflammatory foods like refined sugars and seed oils, and adding in anti-inflammatory options like leafy greens, turmeric, and omega-3s. Many people notice a real difference in joint comfort. Gentle movement also helps. Low-impact activities like swimming, walking, and stretching not only ease stiffness, but help reduce the inflammatory markers in your bloodstream. You don't have to live in constant discomfort. So the next time your body feels stiff or swollen without any clear injury, don't ignore it. That's inflammation at work. Next, we'll move to the digestive system and explore why bloating and gut trouble can also be early signs of a much bigger issue. We don't often connect belly issues with long-term health risks. But here's something you may not know. Your gut is one of the body's main battlegrounds when it comes to chronic inflammation. The gut lining is supposed to act like a tight filter, allowing nutrients in and keeping harmful substances out. But when inflammation takes root, that lining can become damaged or leaky. This condition, often called leaky gut, allows small particles, bacteria, and toxins to enter your bloodstream. and that triggers your immune system to respond constantly. Here are some early digestive signs this may be happening: frequent bloating or gassiness, constipation or diarrhea that comes and goes, feeling full even after small meals, unexplained nausea or cramping, food sensitivities that seem to appear out of nowhere. These symptoms aren't just annoying, they're your gut waving a red flag. As we age, our gut flora, the community of good bacteria in our intestines, tends to shift. We may have fewer good guys and more of the harmful bacteria that promote inflammation. On top of that, many seniors take medications like NSAIDs, PPIs, or antibiotics, all of which can disrupt gut balance and increase inflammation risk. So, what can you do? Start by adding gut-friendly, anti-inflammatory foods like fermented veggies, like sauerkraut and kimchi, probiotic yogurt, or kefir bone broth, fiber-rich vegetables and whole grains, and don't forget stress. It can inflame your gut too. Deep breathing, light walking after meals, and better sleep can all calm your digestive system. If your digestion has felt off for a while, and it's hard to pinpoint why, don't ignore it. It might not be just your age. It might be inflammation, and your gut's way of asking for care. Next up, we'll explore a symptom that is often confused with stress or age-related character changes, but it may hide inflammation, mood swings, and mild depression. Have you felt more irritable lately? Or found yourself feeling flat, unmotivated, or quietly sad, without knowing why? Mood swings and mild depression are often brushed off as emotional or mental issues, but growing research shows they can also be biological and deeply linked to inflammation. Here's how it works. Chronic inflammation can disrupt the delicate balance of chemicals in your brain, especially serotonin and dopamine, which are responsible for mood, motivation, and emotional stability. It also affects your hypothalamic-pituitary-adrenal (HPA) axis, the system that controls your body's stress response. When this axis is out of balance, it can lead to increased anxiety, mood instability, and even depressive symptoms. You may feel more withdrawn than usual, low on motivation, anxious without a clear reason, emotionally sensitive or reactive, a heaviness in your day-to-day life. And here's the key: it's not your fault. This isn't about being weak or negative. It's about inflammation silently affecting your brain chemistry. Studies have found elevated levels of inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein, CRP, and interleukin-6, IL-6, in people with depression, even when they had no other physical symptoms, and for seniors, this is especially important. Feeling low doesn't always mean you need antidepressants. Sometimes, what you need is less inflammation and more nourishment, both physically and emotionally. Ways to support mood through anti-inflammatory living. Eat omega-3 rich foods like salmon, walnuts, and flaxseed. Get daily sunlight and mild physical activity. Spend time with loved ones or pets. Prioritize sleep and calming routines before bed. If you've noticed that your mood just isn't what it used to be, and you can't quite explain it, don't ignore it. It could be your body signaling an internal imbalance. Up next, we'll talk about a sign you can see in the mirror, and why your skin might be giving you clues about what's happening beneath the surface. Sometimes, your body tries to whisper that something's wrong. And when it comes to chronic inflammation, one of the easiest places to notice these whispers is right in the mirror: your skin. The skin is your body's largest organ, and it's closely connected to your immune system. When inflammation builds up beneath the surface, the skin often responds. Here are some common skin-related signs of chronic inflammation. Puffy or swollen face, especially in the morning, red patches or flushing. particularly on the cheeks or nose, dry, flaky, or itchy skin that doesn't improve with lotion rashes that come and go, especially under stress. Skin that looks dull, tired, or slow to heal. We often treat these issues with creams or cosmetics, but they're more than skin deep. These changes can reflect internal inflammation, often stemming from diet, stress, or gut imbalances. Why does this happen? When your immune system is overstimulated, it can send inflammatory messengers through your bloodstream, and those affect the skin too. For example, histamine from certain foods or allergies can cause redness and puffiness. Gut inflammation can lead to eczema or itchy rashes. Poor circulation due to chronic inflammation can reduce skin brightness and healing speed. If you've noticed changes in your skin over the past few months, not just aging, but something that feels off, don't brush it aside. What's happening on the outside might be a signal from the inside. The good news is that many people see skin improvements when they reduce sugar, processed foods, and inflammatory oils, and increase hydration, whole foods, and healthy fats like olive oil and avocado. As your inflammation levels drop, your skin can start to look brighter, calmer, and more youthful, a visible sign that your body is healing from within. Next, we'll move to a more serious, but often silent area, your heart. Even small changes in its functioning can be early signals of inflammation in the blood vessels. When it comes to heart health, we often think of dramatic events, like chest pain or a heart attack. But inflammation in the cardiovascular system usually starts with subtle symptoms that are easy to overlook. That's why it's so important to pay attention to your body's quiet signals. Chronic inflammation can affect the endothelial lining, the inner walls of your blood vessels. This can cause the vessels to become less flexible, restrict blood flow, and increase your risk for high blood pressure, stroke, and heart disease. Here are some subtle signs to watch for. A slight pressure or tightness in the chest, especially during exertion. A resting heart rate that feels faster than usual. Mild shortness of breath, even with light activity. Occasional lightheadedness or dizziness. Cold hands and feet due to poor circulation. These symptoms may not seem serious on their own. You might write them off as stress, aging, or lack of exercise. But when they appear alongside other signs we've discussed, like fatigue, joint pain, or brain fog, they may point to a deeper issue. Systemic inflammation affecting your heart and blood vessels. And that's where early detection matters most. Inflammation-related heart issues can build slowly over time. The earlier you recognize the signs and take action, the better your chances of preventing major problems later. What helps? Anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens, olive oil, and fish. Regular, gentle exercise like walking or tai chi. Deep breathing to lower stress and reduce blood pressure. Working with your doctor to monitor inflammation markers like CRP. The heart is one of the organs most affected by chronic inflammation, but also one of the most responsive to lifestyle change. So don't wait for a major scare. If something feels off, even slightly, listen to your body. And now that we've covered all 7 signs, let's wrap up with a short summary and simple steps that can be started today. You've made it to the end, and now you're equipped with something most people don't have: awareness. We've talked about 7 early warning signs of chronic inflammation that seniors often ignore, not because they're careless, but because these signs can feel so ordinary. Let's do a quick recap. Fatigue that doesn't go away. Persistent tiredness, even after rest, brain fog and forgetfulness, slower thinking, memory slips, poor focus, joint stiffness and swelling, subtle aches and mobility issues, digestive problems, bloating, gas, or unpredictable digestion, mood shifts or mild depression, low motivation, sadness or irritability, skin issues, redness, rashes, puffiness, or dull complexion, subtle heart symptoms, mild tightness, fatigue, or changes in heart rate. Each of these alone might seem small, but together they paint a picture of inflammation quietly building beneath the surface. Now the question is, what can you do? Here's a simple 3-step anti-inflammatory action plan to help you feel better, and possibly even reverse some of these symptoms. Step 1. Clean up your plate. Reduce processed foods, sugars, and inflammatory oils. Add in leafy greens, berries, fatty fish, olive oil, turmeric, and ginger. Drink more water and herbal teas. Step 2. Move every day. Take daily walks, do light stretching, or try water aerobics. Movement reduces inflammation, supports your joints, and boosts your brain. Step 3. Rest and reset. Prioritize sleep and build a relaxing bedtime routine. Practice deep breathing or meditation for stress. Laugh, connect, and do what brings you joy. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be aware and start making small changes consistently. And most importantly, don't ignore your symptoms. Your body is always talking to you. The sooner you listen, the easier it is to heal. If this video helped you feel more informed or empowered, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us reach more seniors like you, who deserve to feel better, think clearer, and age with confidence. Take care of your body, and it will take care of you. We'll see you in the next video.